All right.
Good.
Yeah, we're back. It's recording. I see it up there in the corner, live 3, 4, 5 seconds worth of this. He's Chris Hodge. He's from New York. I'm Doug Pike. I'm from Texas. And we are the odds couple. You know, honestly, Chris, as much as I like that name for the show because we're totally different, but then we could still have really good conversations about almost anything. Imagine if the country got along like we do. That'd be pretty good. Anyway, I like the name for the show, but it sounds kind of just a little bit weird to say it out loud.
The odds
Hi,
couple.
we're the odds couple. Yeah, it still works.
I like it.
I do too. We are who we are, right?
Yeah, I definitely like it.
Sure.
I think, it is what it is. And you made a great point. I wish people in the country can get along like you and I get along.
Used to be we could. Used to be. We were getting there, and then something went wrong. If this is your first time on the odds couple ride, by the way, thanks for listening. Thanks for climbing on. So let's start with basketball, okay? And I'm not talking about the Rockets. I don't want to talk about the Rockets, honestly. Not for a few years anyway. Tell me what's going on with this NCAA tournament, man. It's almost at the end, huh?
So you guys only talk about the winners, I guess, right? You only talk about the Astros.
I didn't mention one. I mentioned the only team I mentioned is the losing Rockets.
Well, listen, I don't feel bad for the Rockets because I'm a Knicks fan, so I got to deal with a whole bunch of other nonsense. Yeah. NCAA tournament has been a good tournament. There's been a couple really, really bad beats in terms of last-second shots. TCU the other night over Gonzaga was just craziness. But it's been a good tournament. We got through the first 4 days really good, made our customers money. Now, when we're recording this, I don't know when people are going to see it. It's Thursday before the Sweet 16, but there's some good matchups tonight. There's some good matchups tomorrow, and we'll get on to the Elite Eight Saturday and Sunday. So it's winding down, but I think it's been a really good tournament. I think there's some really good Sweet 16 games.
I wanted to talk about some of the beats too. That like when a 16 beats a 1, if I'm the guy on the team that's got to play the winner of that game, I got to feel really good when that 16 squeaks it out somehow.
Well, first of all, Purdue is just what they've done the last 3 or 4 years in this tournament is so terrible. They've lost the double-digit seeds the last 3 or 4 years. And to lose, look, it's only happened one other time. Now, the last time it happened, Virginia came back the next year and won the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
So I don't think Purdue's going to do that, though. Purdue is perpetually overrated, or always overrated. That was a tough loss. And then, obviously, FDNU, plays a good game in around the 32, but just the talent, they didn't have it. So, they lose that game. But that's a terrible job by Purdue, as bad as bad gets.
If a team that's that highly ranked loses 2 or 3 times to a double-digit seed in consecutive tournaments, is that on the coaching or on the players?
Both. Yeah. I mean, both. I mean, listen, they were a 23-point favorite in that game. Yeah. Now, how the hell are you going to lose it? Yeah, if my son was on that team, I wouldn't even be talking to him. Like, how the hell did you accomplish this, So, it's just, I know. It's a tough loss, but really, I mean, that should never happen. But that's what makes sports so great, right? That's why that's what makes it so great that it can happen.
I asked you a couple of days ago about that final few seconds of the Virginia game, where that guy just kind of gets pinned down and he just heaves the ball down court, and all of a sudden there's 3 points the other way. Why does he even let go of that ball?
So the only thing I can think of is he thought there was less time on the clock.
Okay.
And that's just it's still a terrible
there wasn't much.
Play. Yeah, and I think he's thinking if I throw the ball down the court as far as I can, the clock runs out. But again, that's a bad job by the coach, not understanding the situation. That's a bad job by the player, not understanding the situation. And it's why if you gamble on this stuff continuously, you will pull your hair out of your head. Right? It is what it is. It's hard. If you're on Virginia that day, you're ready to scream. So, you go through beats like that, unfortunately. But that was a terrible play as well.
Not to change the subject entirely, but speaking of gambling, I overheard one of the guys in my office 2 days ago talking about how he'd laid $50 on an Astros pregame or preseason game. Why? Why would he do that?
I never in my life.
Who never in my life? I guess anybody.
You can take them. Yeah, all the sports books will take that bet. I have been in the sports gambling business since 2004. I have never, ever bet a spring training game. Never. Not $1, not one time, not ever will never happen. Not ever.
The only way you could possibly win in that scenario is just dumb luck. Dumb luck.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't know who's going to play. You don't know how many at bats they're going to get. You don't know how many pitches a guy's going to throw.
All these sports books, they depend on stupidity. And that's stupidity. Betting a game like that is just, I'm sure your friend is a very nice guy. Might not be the smartest ball, but, that was a stupid move.
Let's stick with baseball and go to this WBC, man. What'd you think of the outcome of that?
Obviously I wanted to see USA win.
Sure.
I'm going to say something that's probably not a popular take. Mike Trout, I get he's going against a great pitcher. And that was a great at-bat in terms of the theater of it. Two teammates. Championship on the line. But Mike Trout, for a superstar, we have never seen a superstar less than we've seen Mike Trout.
Yeah.
I think he's played in 3 playoff games. I don't ever remember watching in September a big Mike Trout at bat.
No, ever. He's a good guy on a bad team.
Yeah, but eventually you got to win to be remembered.
I agree.
And he really needed to come through in that situation. Now, Ohtani is a phenomenal pitcher and is a phenomenal talent. But it's just, Mike Trout and, the text messages back and forth before that at-bat comes up is we finally get to see Trout in a big at-bat.
Yeah.
And he struck out. And that's just been, great player, phenomenal talent. But you got to, who's going to be remembered more? And I'm not saying this because I'm a Yankee fan, but you're going to remember Derek Jeter more than you remember Mike Trout. Mike Trout's the better baseball player.
And Mike Trout's a great baseball player, but honestly, I'm kind of with you, and I wish I could pick you apart for what you said, but I can't because the more I try to think about it, the less I remember Mike Trout being on ESPN highlight reels.
He's played 3 playoff games. You've never seen him in a big at-bat. That was in his career, and he's over 30 now, I believe. Good point. That was his biggest at-bat of his career.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah, he had a chance to really hang the moon. He really did it and show that he was the person everybody wants him to be. And that's just too bad, man.
And I'll tell you, man, I gained a tremendous amount of respect for Ohtani, not because of his performance. We know he's a great player.
Sure.
But his speech before the game went viral. And I thought it was just a picture-perfect speech of, hey, stop admiring these guys. We're here to beat them. Don't give them all this respect. Don't give them – we're good too. We're good. So don't give them – we're in awe of these guys. Don't do that. And I really thought that was a great speech, not just for the moment, but for if you could put that in any aspect of life.
Absolutely.
There's so many people in awe of what's going on rather than just go out and go do your job.
Just do your job a little bit better than that guy does, and you come out ahead every time.
100%.
As simple as that. I saw something about MLB maybe changing some of these new rules just before the season starts. Have you seen that yet?
This pitch clock thing really pisses me off. I hate it because this is the biggest scam of all time. Let's just admit it, right? It really is, right? The reason why baseball games are so long right now is for one reason and one reason only, and that's television. Yep. That is it. In the 1950s and 60s, there was no 2.5, 3 minutes in between each inning for every ad to come on. And
30 seconds on and off. Let's go.
That's it. So, okay, the games are longer. All right, well, cut the commercials down. But you can't do that because that's ad revenue. So let's just call it what it is. A game isn't 3 hours and 15 minutes long because somebody gets out and scratches their balls out of the box. No, that's not why it's long. It's long because of the commercials, and they're trying to make other ways to do this. Now they got the pitch clock come in. I don't like it.
That doesn't change anything.
I don't like it. I really don't. I don't like the pitch clock. I think the bigger bases are ridiculous. That doesn't make no sense. So
the pitch clock, I saw it put very well on Facebook a few days ago. Maybe even it was probably more like a week and a half ago. It said what baseball's trying to do is make the game more appealing to people who don't like it anyway.
Yeah, and when was baseball the most appealing? When they were all on steroids. That's when it was the most appealing. Everyone in the world watched in 1998 when they were all cheating. So that just goes to say about us.
Daniel Tosh does a bit about that. He said he wants his athletes on steroids. He wants to see how far they can get it, how far they can throw it, and he wants to get his money's worth, you know?
I mean, that 1998 might be the best baseball season in history. It really might be.
But is it tainted because of all of that?
I don't look at it as tainted. I know I'm in a minority with this.
Asterisk?
I don't look at the asterisk. You're gonna like this. I don't look at the asterisk from the Astros' first World Series. I think that was bullshit. Okay. If they were stealing signs, they were stealing signs. Don't make it like they're the only team stealing signs.
Well, and don't make it where they can read your signs. Damn, correct. I play baseball. I know that, you know.
Correct. So you want to say, oh, they were using this technology and that technology. You know what? Everyone stole signs, right? Including the Yankees in my team, right?
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, the way I look at baseball in terms of it's the one sport that is played in a calendar year, right? I want you to understand where I'm going with this, right? Every other sport goes over to another year. NBA, college hoops, college football, so on and so forth, right? NHL. And it has all of our attention in the summer. There's nothing else on, right? So all of our eyes are on baseball. And I just think they're doing a terrible job of, getting this sport out there the way it should. Baseball is a phenomenal sport, and I think they're ruining it. I really believe they're ruining this sport.
I kind of agree with you. What do you think about what's this other football stuff that's going on? I can't remember the name of it.
XFL?
XFL is going on right now. It's kind of like Live Golf, I think, a little bit.
Again,
hard to watch.
Expectations.
Yeah.
Right. And if you get into, you're going to watch an XFL game and think you're going to watch an NFL game, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
It's like going out with a model and then you go out with a 2 and you think the 2 is going to be the model.
Oh, my word. You're going to get us both in trouble.
Expectations, bro. Come on.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. We can go with that.
I think it's been good football. I really do. I've watched it. I think it's been good.
Speaking of Live Golf, let's go there for a second. I had a guy ask me, I think it was like on Tuesday or something, if I watched any of the Live Golf, and over the weekend, and honestly, I'd forgotten it was on.
Zero.
They've got to figure out a way to get people to watch, and I don't know what it's going to be.
They made a mistake. It's happened. Hey, look, you've heard this saying, I know you're a happily married man. Right. Yep. But there's a lot of people. I'm a happily married man as well.
Sure.
There's a lot of people out there. And the saying is the grass ain't always greener. Right. Yeah. Like, so you get divorced and you move on to wife number 2 and you start to realize wife number 1 wasn't that bad. For the most part. I really think
qualifier, asterisk.
Yeah. I mean, they divorced themselves from the PGA Tour and there was some problems with that tour. They've gone to, and I think a lot of them are remorseful right now. They might not say it. They might not even be allowed to say it because you can't mess with the Saudis. You got to be careful with them.
For sure.
But I think a lot of those guys are remorseful right now.
Probably so, because they're seeing the longer term, not even long term yet, but at least the longer term repercussions of bailing out. And they've still got their money to sit on. But I wonder if they bail and try to come back to the PGA Tour, does the tour take them? And does Live Golf let them go without paying back? What do they do there? Do we know?
Tricky situation.
Yeah, I don't even know what's in the contract.
Look, they got their money. Yeah,
sure.
And that's important to a lot of people. To me, I want to compete against the best, and I want to earn my money. Someone else out there might just say, hey, someone offered me $100 million. Man, who am I, man? If someone offered me $100 million, go pick games for them, yo.
See ya.
That might be the case.
Yeah, I'd open up an office next to his house, just hang out with him, go to the pool, and just have a cocktail with him every day for $100 million.
$100 million's $100 million.
Be hard to, yeah, it is, and that's what drives people is in this day and age. It doesn't matter about honesty. It doesn't matter about integrity. It's how much money you got, and that's a scary proposition.
I wanted to ask you something. Do you guys, I just off sports, off gambling, this shit drives me crazy, okay? Do you guys down in Houston or Texas or what have you have people driving alone in their cars with masks on?
All by themselves, nobody around, all the windows up, yeah.
What is the censor? I see this all the time. What on earth?
Yeah. Yeah. There's only two things. I thought about that a little bit this week because I figured you were going to ask me about that. You had mentioned it a long time ago. And the only two scenarios where that makes any sense, number one, if I'm driving somebody to the hospital who has COVID and is sneezing every 2 seconds, I got to do something for myself, right?
I'm talking about being alone.
No, I know. So that's out the door. Yeah, that's gone. So what I'm looking at, the other one is the freaking pollen that we have down here, dude. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys get it as bad up there, but for like 6 or 8 weeks every spring, everything outside is yellow. I don't care what color your car was when you went to bed. This morning it's yellow.
All right. Now, but before COVID, right? You guys weren't wearing masks because of the pollen.
Nope.
Right? Nope. So my whole thing is I drive around. I always get into accidents over this because I look at a person. I'm like, what the hell are you wearing a mask for alone in your car? And I'm not trying to get on the mask wearers because they pissed off half the population right there. I'm really not. I just don't understand why you're in a car by yourself.
The only time the only time you're supposed to wear a mask driving around by yourself is Halloween. That's it.
It doesn't make any sense. I didn't know if you guys had this going down. And
I'm with you.
You tell me about alligators eating deer. I don't have that problem in New York. I didn't know if you guys had this going on.
Well, the allergy thing, man, it's bad here. Texas is one of the worst states for it. There are actually days if I think it's the cedar trees, like up in the hill country around Austin and whatnot, if the wind is blowing this way, when those cedar trees are really jacking out their pollen, then the whole sky gets yellow. And that's when it's really bad. My stuff is mostly oak. And I just take a Zyrtec in the morning. I put a little snort in my nose of whatever it is. I can't remember the name. Nasacort, I think. 2 squirts in a nostril, and I'm good for 24 hours, and I stay good. I just did an interview about that on 50 Plus this week, as a matter of fact. Allergy season here is worse than in a lot of states, but it's still not as bad as living.
You got to be careful with snorting stuff up your nose, man.
No, I've never done that actually. Never done that. Now, I'm not going to ask you whether you have because it's not my business anyway.
Yeah, I've been good with it. I've been good.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. You didn't see
I got you.
So did you see the video that I sent you this morning or no?
I have not had a chance to look at it yet.
I'm not going to tell you what it is, and maybe we'll talk about it next time we talk. We're close to out of time now. I don't want to bore people and go too long. But just go look at it, and then maybe we'll talk about it next time. And then when we finish, I may call you back and tell you a joke I've been working on. I'm becoming a little side gig humor writer, I think, a joke writer maybe. You might like this one. We'll see.
I got like I said, we're doing this podcast on Thursday at 3:00 Eastern time. I don't know when it's going to be up, but so I figured I'd give out a free pick for Friday.
Pick it up. Yeah.
I figured that, no problem. I think Alabama, the guys I'm on with at San Diego are going to hate this, but I think Alabama really beats up on San Diego State on Friday. San Diego State struggles to score. It's going to be hard to stay with Alabama in that game. I know Miller's been banged up and hurt, but they're so deep and so good. I did a spot in San Diego last night, and I don't think I made friends with a couple people because the phone calls coming in afterwards were not good.
It's not your job to make friends, man.
The phone calls, I said on the show Alabama's going to beat San Diego State. Next thing I know, I'm getting death threats, getting called an idiot.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
Holy cow!
Happens all the time. Yeah, over a selection on a game.
Back when
you're an asshole. I hope you get hit by a truck.
I got to share this with you. Back when I was at the newspaper here, I was there 23 years writing about the outdoors and just having fun. And some guy got sideways over something I had written, and I get this call from the security desk, and they said, "Hey, we just got a call transferred to us. It's some guy who didn't like something you wrote, and he's threatening to come up here and whip your ass." And you know what I told the security guard?
Send them up.
Tell him I'm on the 7th floor.
Yeah, send them up.
Just come on, whatever. And
I have one guy from Florida that when we do the Saturday radio show, the Sports Investors Daily, this guy emails me every single Saturday at around the same exact time. And it's really the emails are really comical, like it's really funny. And I'm just sitting there like, who takes the time to do this shit? Like I would never in my life take the time. But I get it every single Saturday.
What's
everyone? This gambling stuff don't work. I can't believe you're on the radio saying this thing. I'm like, well, I've been doing this since 2004. Don't tell me it don't work. We're in 2023. It works.
It works. And I'll tell you what a waste of time is. I talked today, just like 20, 30 minutes ago on 50 Plus. I found a story about a guy who spent 12 days taking a trip around the world, basically, to visit all 12 of Disney's parks and ride all 216 rides in 12 days, 12 parks, 216 rides. That's a waste of time and money. Why would you do that?
I'd rather hit my knees with hammers.
I know. You know what? Here's what I came up with. What if this guy is just some dude who's sitting in his mom's basement and he sends an email to Disney and says, you know what? If you'll pay for it, I'll visit every one of your parks in 12 days. I'll ride all the rides, and then you can shoot that out to the media, and they'll pick it up like I'm some kind of a hero.
I would never wait on the line, so they better get him the Disney
pass. I guarantee he didn't stand in a line. There's no way,
he better get the fast pass, whatever. And I'm familiar with Disney because I got children. My wife made me drag them down there. Every time you go to Disney World, you need a vacation from the vacation.
Oh yeah.
It's a brutal trip. It's happiest place on earth. My ass.
Happy if you're on the collecting end of the money, probably.
Yeah, man. Nothing was happy about that. All the being with your family, that's good. Everything.
Yeah, it's fun.
Everything
it's healthy
else.
Family fun. They've had some issues with their political stances lately, though, that I don't know how that's going to all work out. I don't really care. I don't like to get into that.
It's irrelevant.
All right, man, we better wrap it up. I don't want to lose them.
All right, sounds good, man.
You're Chris Hodge. I'm Doug Pike. This is The Odd Couple. Thanks for listening. Adios.
Have a good one.